Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I know there's been a lot of wild weather around the country, so I hope you and your loved ones are safe. I am going to recommend the Ryan Hall Y'all YouTube channel. He does weather forecasting and live streaming for severe weather. And we've been not here in the Northwest, but across the country. I know a lot of y'all are going through it, so he is an invaluable resource. I highly recommend that you subscribe to him, check his channel out, share it with loved ones. And again, that channel name is Ryan Hall, y'all. Here in the Northwest, it's a beautiful spring day, and I am filming. But this is a video I am very excited to film. I will go enjoy the sun a bit later, but this video will be partially a quarter one review of my planner systems and notebook systems, and then kind of also a currently using, and if you're familiar with Sarra over at Heart Breathings, this will partially be similar to her notebook challenge videos. So grab a beverage, grab a snack. This is going to probably be a long one, so get cozy and let's hang out. So speaking of beverages, the neighborhood pub that my husband and I go to had their first anniversary birthday party last weekend, and he and I both won raffles. I won this tumbler. It's a really pretty kind of like smoky lilac color, lavender. And then my husband picked, from the raffle prizes, he picked a Bloody Mary mix kit. So we've been having fun with that. And then a friend who moved away about 5 years ago has gotten back in touch with me. We never lost touch. It's just one of those friends that, you see what they do on social media and comment on each other's stuff every once in a while, but they asked me if I wanted to be pen pals with them, and I said yes, duh. So they sent me my first pen pal note, and they included some stickers. So I covered the coffee company logo that was on here before with a sticker that my friend sent me. It says, "Read books and dismantle systems of oppression." And yeah, let's go. We got work to do. Let's dismantle some shit. But I've got my coffee in here. It is hot coffee. However, it's not hot anymore. It's lukewarm. So it's not gonna, don't worry, I won't burn myself drinking from a straw in this thing. I do like that it has a lid, because there is just cat hair floating around my office everywhere all the time. So this prevents cat hair from getting into my coffee, which is wonderful. Okay, so this is my stack, and it's a lot. I remember in my video, one of my videos last year, when I was doing my 2025 planner systems, I was like, this is going to be the year of cutting back and going down. And I have. Not all of these I use all of the time, and you'll see kind of as we go into that. But I thought I would show you kind of all of my systems, what I'm using them for, how often I use them, yada, yada, yada. So I think we're going to get started. This makes sense to me, don't worry. I am organizing them by function here. Okay, so we will start with, let's scoochy this on over. We will start with this. This will be very brief, very quick. I have shown this before. You will not see the inside because it contains sensitive information, but this is my budget planner. The Bickers, I had this personalized This is kind of a joke between my husband and I. We call ourselves the Bickers because our favorite pastime is bickering. We sound like we're 90 and we've been married for 50 years, but we love each other, I promise. So this is my budget planner. This is an Erin Condren and Clever Girl Finance collaboration. I really like using this. I have tried budget planners before in the past, and I've said this before in my videos. I've tried different budget planners, but it was always the like set it up yourself, like more bullet journal style, of just like a blank notebook. That does not serve me well. I thought it would be great because it's fully customizable, but having something like this that's pre-printed, pre-filled out, where I can just go in and plug in the numbers, works fantastic for me. And it's really giving me a better view of my finances, where I'm doing well, where there's opportunities. And I have been able to start paying down my debt faster. And, you know, I don't want to say it's because of this planner. It's because I've been buckling down on my budget and, you know, being more conscious. But this, I think, helps with that. So I will continue to use my budget planner. I don't use this every day. I probably only open it every couple weeks or so when I'm doing some budgeting work and looking at my finances and what I have coming up. But I do find this very useful. And so if you're struggling to find a budget planner that works for you, do recommend giving this a try. The other piece that I have along with this is not a notebook. It's not a planner. This is just like a little, I don't know if it's meant for checks or I honestly don't know what it's meant for. It's like a little folio file system. I have been using it for savings, is kind of like a cash fund. So I have two big things I would like to save up for. I have my office renovation and fixing my old truck. And so I have goals here for how much money I want to save for each of them. $650 for my office, $500 for fixing my truck. Although if what's wrong with my truck is all that's wrong with my truck, or if what we think is wrong with my truck is wrong with my truck, it will be significantly less than $500, but I would like to, in the meantime, save up until we know what is wrong. And then I just have a sticky note here for how much money I have saved. So I have $11 saved so far. I am getting my tax refund here shortly. I'm waiting on that to arrive. And I am struggling if I want to put my entire return towards paying down debt, which is probably the smart thing, or if I would like to put it towards one of these projects. And I want to put it towards one of these projects. Realistically, I will probably split it, some for projects and some for debt. But that kind of concludes these two items. They go together. Not a planner, not a notebook, but something I am using to kind of help me keep track of my finances. Next, let's see. I think next we'll do this one. So, look at this cover. Isn't it beautiful? This cover is from Paperbound Creations. It's one of their shaker covers, so all of this like glitter in here moves around. Ooh, ASMR here. Okay. Anyway, inside this cover, I have just taken a regular old A5 Lexterm 1917 notebook. I know these kind of hit their peak popularity in the late 2010s. I still love them. These notebooks are so durable. They can take a beating. as you can see, I just chopped it to a TN size, and it fits in my paper-bound creations cover. So what I want to do with this is I want to make it my story book, plotting, character info, all of those good things, sprint tracker, drafting notes, all of that. I want to make it that. However, I already have that in here. So this started as my NaNoWriMo 2020 notebook, and this writing project I have been off and on working on since 2020, but as you can see, I have a lot of work in here already done, and I was absolutely convinced last weekend that I was going to just retransfer and handwrite all of that into here because this is prettier. And I would rather be using something that's pretty than, not that that's not pretty, but, shiny object syndrome. I want to be using it because look how pretty it is. Oh, God. Look how pretty this is. It's gorgeous. But I don't have a plan for this yet, unfortunately. If you have an idea of what I could use this for, I would love to hear it. Please comment and tell me what you would use this for, or, what a good use for this could be. So, not using it, want to use, because it's cute. Next, we will do my writing things. As I briefly just mentioned, this is my story notebook. Every novel I write gets its own Lecture 1917, so I have a stack of, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 of these from all of the different books that I have written but not finished. This is for the current project I am working on. As you can see, it's full of just messy, sloppy notes. It's got, like I said, plotting notes, character development, sprint trackers, you name it, it's in here. Anything that gets written down about my story goes in here. Unless it is my actual draft and then it goes on a computer. But you get what I'm saying. So again, not a planner. This is something that I will continue to use until the book is done. So next, this is something that I am only using for this month. This is my Rough Draft Challenge April 2025 planner. So I did a whole video, my most recent video besides this one, my last video, was all about my goals and planning for this challenge. This is hosted by Sarra over at Heart Breathings. April, we are doing a rough draft challenge. You can either be drafting and set a word count goal, or you can be part of her diamond tier where you are creating your own goal. So whether you're revising or writing a master's thesis, the challenge is open to all. So this is my rough draft challenge planner. If you want to see more specifics and details about the challenge and how I'm going about it, like I said, check out my last video. I will try to remember to link it in the cards up here. But I have it all set up, but I need to fill out the last few days since the challenge started because I have not filled out the daily sheets yet, but that's something that won't take long. So this planner is here for this month, and then it will disappear. And then the next time Sarra hosts another rough draft challenge, I will dig this out again. So the last writing related, let's make this a little less of a scary stack. There we go. The last writing related planner notebook I'm using is this cute little, I want to say it's like sunset or sunrise, little spiral bound notebook from Erin Condren. It's just lined. And this is my mastermind meeting notebook. So I have taken Sarah's Publish and Thrive class, which teaches you pretty much everything you need to know about self-publishing. And this last round, for the first time, she has put us into groups by genre that we write, by kind of place we're at in our author career, by time zone. She and her husband did a lot of work to match us up with other people in the class that they thought would be a good fit. And once a month we have meetings, and this is just where I take notes on those meetings. So again, not a planner, something that gets used for a very specific purpose, not very often. But I do like having a designated place for this, so that I'm not flipping back and forth in a larger notebook or planner looking for my meeting notes from last time. It's all in one spot. So this will probably last years. Okay, next we're getting to the big kahunas here. We're getting to the main event. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee now. All right, so this is my everyday carry. This is my main planner. I love her. She is perfect. She is beautiful. She is also full of cat hair, because of course. So this cover is new to me. I just got it about a month or so ago, month and a half ago, from a Moterm buy-sell trade group. I had been patiently waiting for months and keeping my eye out in the Facebook group, and then this popped up, and I was so excited. I'm loving this cover still. It's beautiful. This planner is my main everyday carry planner. I am using the Sterling Ink N1 horizontal compact common planner, and here, you can come in a little closer. So I have the Salty Katie Co. Grape jelly cover on here. It's a really soft, kind of muted purple. And it's kind of hard to see on the blue, but it really just adds that, extra little something something. I have a front pocket here that I have nothing in right now. The cover page. This page I just have used to mark my paydays and work holidays. I left this blank. So here is a bit of a goal breakdown page. You can pause and read this in detail if you want, but I'm just gonna keep moving on. I had originally wanted to use this as my period tracker, and I could probably still do that, but I have my health and period tracker further back in my planner, so this remains blank for now. And then here I have my Q1 priorities and then monthly goals, along with habit trackers. So far this year, the habits that I am tracking are water, moving my body, staying sober, not just brushing my teeth, but focusing on brushing my teeth. And I know I've mentioned this in videos before, but I'm the type of person that I'm like pulling my pants on while I'm brushing my teeth or pouring a cup of coffee. So this is really like me trying to hone in and really focus on what I am doing and not trying to multitask. If I did my skincare, writing, and then a deep clean or like full refresh of the litter boxes. And then here is my Q2 or Q2 and April goals so far. I have not filled out yesterday, which yesterday was purple. I did drink water. I did move my body. I went for a run. I did not stay sober. I did brush my teeth. I did do my skincare. I did write. And I did do some litter, but I didn't do a full refresh, so I'm not going to mark it. So my goals this month are to pay extra on my loan, put $30 into my savings, write 25,000 words in the rough draft challenge for writing. For YouTube, I want to post 3 videos this month and live stream. We'll see. I'll be sure to let y'all know somehow, either in the community tab or an Instagram post, if I am going to live stream. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I have not been very active over there, but you're welcome to follow me. My name is Simulated Sarra over there as well. And then for fitness, I want to run a 5K. I am so close. And then I want to get down to 142 pounds this month. So then I just have a paper clip here marking my habit tracker page and the monthly spread. So I don't use my monthly spreads a whole lot. As you can see, it's mostly for higher level things like birthdays or chiropractor appointments, vet appointments, things like that. So I don't use my monthly pages very often, and in fact, not all of it, but a lot of the monthly stuff is like back planned because I truly don't remember to look at my monthly pages, like hardly ever. So okay, so moving on to the weeklies. I don't know, do y'all want to like chitty chat? Oh, that sounds so nice. See, this is why I love using my ballpoint pen in here, because it just, chef's kiss. It sounds so good. Like, I love this crinkly, worn, textured paper. It sounds so good. So good. Anyway, so I was thinking, if you are interested, I would kind of go through each week and almost like planning life with Erin, if you're familiar with her YouTube channel. I like how she kind of fills you in on her life, because I like hearing stories from my favorite YouTubers and kind of getting to peek inside their lives a bit. And I do that somewhat, but I don't sit here and tell you on Saturday we did this as much as I maybe could. So this first week was the end of December and then the beginning of January. So New Year's Eve, we went to our friend's house, and it was a smaller gathering, and we went to the brewery before that for a New Year's Eve party. And this is the brewery that my husband Dusty and I fill in at on Fridays now, and also today I will be working there this evening. He's working there this afternoon. We're splitting the Saturday shift. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we popped by the brewery, said hi to our friends, and then we went to a small, intimate gathering, and then our friend lovingly kicked us out at like 9:45 because she was like, I'm an adult who goes to bed before midnight, so you guys can stay up till midnight, but you need to do it not at my house. I love you, but get out of my house. So we came home and we were both in bed before midnight. Some of the things in my planner weekly spread have evolved, and some of it has stayed largely the same. Like, I still have my weekly weight up here. I'm not doing the little bubble trackers here anymore because I have my tracker here. So it's just unnecessarily duplicating information. It was helpful sometimes to just like check it off, but in the end, it's just unnecessary. So I had a this week to-do list. I typically have a to-do list on Sundays because I like to do a lot of chores on Sundays. Here, my to-do list fit inside the day. Sometimes it fits in the day slot, and sometimes I put it on the notes page. I have been also keeping track of my runs. Sometimes, again, it goes on the notes side. Sometimes it goes on the actual day. Oh yeah, the first time we went to wrestling up in Tacoma, we had been to this really fun restaurant bar called the Church Cantina. And it's cool. It's kind of like goth and Latin themed, like Central American. So it was a really fun place, and the food was great. It was so busy though, because I think everyone who was at the Church Cantina was also going to the wrestling. And we went to the wrestling in Tacoma, had a great time. I got a little too drunk, but it was a good time. My husband offered to be the DD that evening. It was a very late night, but it was a lot of fun. I have my to-do lists. My friend Asia's birthday was this week. Hi, Asia. Asia, I want to say, oh no, I just went by myself to the Daiso, I think. We got a new Daiso around me, so I wanted to go check it out. I was going to my friend Asia's on Wednesdays for a little while because we would watch Love Island All-Stars and play in our planners. Yeah, we went to our friend's brewery and we brought our new dog Sawyer for the first time. That was our first time taking him out, like on an outing, like a human outing, and not just like a dog walk or something like that. So that was kind of fun. He did so well. He was a very good boy. And I had been keeping track of my runs here just on the day. This page is busy. Some weeks are busier than others, obviously. But I was making notes about Sawyer's first vet appointment and how that went. I was making note of some knee pain that I was having after a run. Here, I went to Asia's again for Love Island All-Stars. Went to the library with one of my friends to do some co-working. I made a note here that I didn't want to run on Friday because my knees hurt. Here I start experimenting with some washi tape to try and make a little more sense of the chaos in every week. And ultimately, I just do what works for me each week. But I was kind of playing around with some washi tape. So this left side was basically an extension of the daily area. And then on this side, I could just kind of use it for notes or a running task list, that kind of thing. Went to Asia's again. Oh gosh. Yeah, Sawyer had been sick in his crate, and I just did so much bedding, or so much laundry this last half of this week. Oh, that was rough. But he's feeling better. I think he just got into something he shouldn't have. Here, well, on the first, we went to our friend's house for a game night. It was so fun. We had a bunch of like fun NA drinks, and we had a bunch of snacks, and we just like played board games, which was really fun. And nice to hang out like just the two of them, or with just the two of them, because we always see each other when the larger homie group gets together, but we don't really do things like just the four of us. So it was really nice to spend some more quality one-on-one time with them. And then here, our friends Evan and Jesse got new jobs, so we all met at a brewery downtown to kind of celebrate and hang out. And then here, oh, that's right. Yeah, we had some snow. So I got to work from home that day. I was approved for my debt consolidation loan. And here I just kind of used this left column extension of the days as looks like a task list. And then here's a list of financial obligations that I needed to take care of on my next paycheck. And then my running task list, my weekly weight. But yeah, we had snow on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I worked from home because it was not only snowy, but it was icy. My partner had a tooth extracted on the 7th, so he was home all day just watching some anime show. I don't know which one. And then looks like here I had a lazy day and just played Sims all day. And went and got my cat Oswald's prescription. So, exciting. And then, instead of a Super Bowl party, my friends host a Superb Owl party every year. And you know those, like, plastic lawn owls that are probably like a foot-ish tall, 1.5 feet tall? They're meant to go in your garden to deter pests and birds and such. Well, they have one of those, and every year we have a Superb Owl party on Super Bowl Sunday and dress the owl up a little bit, give him a hat or some sunglasses, and we just eat a bunch of food. None of us give a single shit about football, but we do like to eat snacks. So we get together and honor our Superb Owl on that day. So I also had my mastermind meeting in the morning and my Publish and Thrive class at 11 a.m. and I went running. That was a busy day, but it was good. I felt productive and I did a bunch of chores. So it was a good mix of productive, fun, and healthy. Although all of the snacks I ate at the Superb Owl party probably quickly undid any of the progress I would have made from my run, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that. I did my running here. I'm playing around with the washi tape strip on the other side and seeing if I like that. So I can put like any obligations or runs on this side and do a task list on this side. Or here I had an obligation, so I put my run on the right side. Oh yeah. We went to the wrestling in Tacoma again. And it was really fun, but I had like the teeniest bit of a headache that day, and so I took a couple ibuprofen, and I was like, it'll be fine by the time we go up for wrestling. It was not. It was a full-blown migraine by the time we left the wrestling, and this just like was the freaking icing on the cake when I was like, I want to go home. I am done. They were like throwing out in the crowd some sort of like chocolate, or they were throwing something out in the crowd to like give away to people, but we were standing in the back. We didn't have great spots this time, and it's general admission standing room unless you pay more for a seat, but we were towards the back and I couldn't see anything, and this thing, I didn't even know what it was, just wax me in the nose and like wax my glasses off of my face. And then I was like, oh my god, somebody's gonna step on my glasses because I'm in a big crowd. We're packed in like sardines. I got my glasses, they were fine. But like on top of having a migraine, I got like knocked in the head with some Valentine's Day candy, and it was like, yeah, that was the moment where I was like, I'm ready to leave. I'm going home. Anyway, the wrestling was fun. I didn't like my seats. I didn't like getting hit in the face, and I didn't like having a migraine. So, not my best time at the wrestling, but that's okay. And then Valentine's Day is my friend Cassie's birthday. We had invited them to the wrestling. Cassie was like, that's not what I want to do on my birthday, so thank you, but no thank you. So the next night we went to the martini bar in town to celebrate her and her birthday. So here I put some washi on both pages to see how I would like it. Sang karaoke at the neighborhood pub after I worked at the brewery. Had a lazy day playing Sims. And then my friend who owns the brewery has gone back to his previous career, so there was a big party for him on his last day bartending. Although his last day bartending, he didn't really bartend at all. His wife was bartending because everyone was coming in to chat with him. So, it was his last bartending shift. But he's not really bartending much anymore. And then the next day at the brewery that we work at, someone had a birthday party for their kitty at the brewery, which was really fun. I will try to remember to insert a picture here of the kitty. So that was fun. I've never been to a kitty birthday party, especially not one at a brewery, but this is a very well-traveled kitty. Oh yeah. This was fun. I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of stuff to do. I only clean this much when we have people coming over, and I don't clean this much for everyone. But on this Saturday, March 1st, we had our friends Jesse and Evan over, and then our next door neighbors Gail and Chatty came over for dinner, and we made tacos. So that was really fun. And then it looks like Dusty changed the oil in one of my trucks. Here I did some chorin and went for a run. You can see I track my runs on the daily pages still. Here is my 4-year friend anniversary with my friend Nika. We met on Twitch and we just became friends. We have yet to meet in person because she's literally half the world away. But we do plan on meeting in person someday because we've developed a very sweet friendship, and the internet can be amazing and it has a wonderful way of bringing people together. So I'm very thankful to have her in my life as my friend. And then here I worked from home. Well, I work from home on Fridays anyway, but we had the company that installed our ductless heating and cooling system. We had them come out for some maintenance. So exciting stuff. On this day, my friend Asia came over to play Sims with me. She had played Sims, I think, maybe a couple times in the past, but she had never really, played Sims. So she came over and we just, had our snacks. I told her to come over in her PJs and bring her slippers. So we were just playing Sims in our comfy cozies, and we were eating snacks, and we were just having a ball. It was so fun. And then my sweet friend Kelly is having a baby, and she had her baby shower, so I went. Obviously we all went, but I went a little early to help set up. And it wasn't just women sitting around a table smelling a diaper full of chocolate or whatever. That's fine. I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but this was all of the guys in our friend group were invited. It was just a party. It was just a party. We just had a big party for her. And went to our neighborhood pub with our good friends Q and Michelle, and they had not tried our pub yet, and they have pretty good burgers at our pub, so we did dinner with them at the pub. And then Nova had her vet appointment. It was just a checkup. I did get blood work for her done as well because it was about time for her blood work to be done. She is a 10-year-old German Shepherd, so she is a senior lady, and blood work gets more important as your pets age. These were things I wanted to ask my vet about or have done. I wanted her anal glands expressed. Our friends recently had a very scary situation with their dog where their dog was in the hospital, in multiple hospitals for, gosh, almost 2 weeks. And she had to have multiple blood transfusions. And so our friends told us that shepherds often make one of the best blood donors. And she was like, hey, you have 3 shepherds. They could be donors. So I asked our vet if they take blood donations. And she said not at the vet. They don't have anywhere to store it. But to call the pet hospitals in the area because they will probably do blood donations. Nova is too old to donate, and Sawyer might still be too young to donate. He's about 1.5 years. But Newton is almost 4. And he's probably the prime age to donate blood. Ask your vet about donating blood because there are pets in need. And someone donating their dog's blood saved my friend's dog's life. So, very important. I highly suggest that if you have a dog who is healthy, that you have them donate blood. Anyway, I wanted Nova's lumps and bumps checked out. She's getting older and she is a lumpy lady. The vet felt all of her lumps and bumps and said they are perfect. We did not do her nail trim because she needs to be sedated for it. Just gabapentin, not like heavy tranquilizers. So we did not get her nails trimmed. But the vet said that she looks incredible for her age. And this was funny. She was like feeling around at all of her lumps and bumps, and she was feeling her belly to make sure everything felt okay there. And she was like, I'm having a really hard time feeling her belly because she's buff. Like, Nova has abs. So now we're like, Nova, you're ripped. You have abs. And I texted it to my friend. I was like, Nova has abs. And she was like, oh my God, what is ABS? Like, is she going to be okay? What's the diagnosis look like? And I was like, no. Like, stomach muscles. But I thought that was funny. She was very concerned. She was like, oh my God, I've never heard of ABS. What is that? So yeah, anyway. Nova has abs. Her lumps and bumps are perfect. We got the blood results back on the next Monday, and her blood was also perfect. So, good news all around at the vet. And then, yeah, did karaoke at the pub after I bartended at the brewery. I did quite a bit on my to-do list here, it looks like. This week, oh yeah, I took a day off of work because I had such bad cramps. And Dusty was gone for this weekend. There is a Razor Clam Festival out on the coast every spring, and he goes and works that. So I had a nice little bachelor weekend. It was very nice. I did a bunch of chores around the house Saturday and Sunday. I wanted the house to be really clean for Dusty when he came home because he worked all week and worked Thursday, immediately drove out to the coast, worked a little bit that night, worked all weekend, and then went right back to work on Sunday and worked till Thursday or Friday. So I wanted the house to be really clean for him when he came home after many days of long hours. I went for a run on Saturday and Sunday. Usually I run on Tuesday, Friday, and Sundays, but I wanted to see how my body would respond to 2 shorter runs, 2 days in a row, and it did not respond well. I had a lot of ankle pain, and I usually have some ankle soreness after my runs, but I have broken both of my ankles, and I'm not sure if anyone else can relate to this or if I'm describing it well, but the kind of bone pain you have after you've broken a bone, it's kind of like a sharp pain. It's not a sharp, like, makes you want to suck your breath in sharp, but it is sharp feeling, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that well. But I usually have some, like, joint soreness after running in my ankles, but this was like sharp bone pain, almost like when my ankles were still healing. And I have not had that kind of pain in a long time. So I took a week off. On my bachelor weekend, I walked my friend's dog Loki. They were having some work done on their house, and they were like, we don't want our giant dog in this guy's way while he's working on our house. Can you just take him for a walk? So I said, sure. So Loki and I went on a very nice walk. My friend Luke had his birthday party. My brother Clark and my friend Luke both have the same birthday. So we had Luke's birthday party on Sunday, which was really fun. We started at our friend's house and then we went downtown. I got to chat with a dear friend on the phone. She lives in Colorado, so we had a nice phone date. And then on that Saturday, I chatted with my mom. So I had a nice little bachelor weekend. It was great. This week, we were supposed to have, here in the Northwest, we were supposed to have like severe thunderstorms and possibly like a tornado. But it petered out, at least in my area. I know Seattle did get a decent thunderstorm, and some areas around Seattle did get a decent thunderstorm, but it just passed right over us, unfortunately. I was very excited. I was sitting out on the front porch with an NA beer in hand and waiting for the storms to come, but they did not. My ankle pain, I think, kind of kicked off some hip pain, because Friday when I was working at the brewery, I was just in such bad pain in my hips. And when your hips are out of whack, I'm sure you know that it goes down into your quads, into your knees, into your calves. It's all connected. So I was having a lot of pain last weekend. And then I already told you, but our neighborhood pub had their 1-year anniversary party where I won this coffee mug, and Dusty also won a raffle. And then we went that evening to the arcade in town, and we did a double date night with our friends Brad and Cassie, which was a lot of fun. Cassie and I were both like, yeah, we only loaded our game card with like $10. We're not really going to play games. Like, the boys will go play games and we can sit and chat. But Cassie and I ended up playing a lot of games. There was this monster truck game where you sit in this like monster car, truck, cab, and there's a giant screen in front of you, and you can either do a race mode or a demolition mode. And so it's 2-player. There's 2 of these cabs. So Cassie and I played that like 1,000 times, and it's cool because the cab will like shake as you're in it, and so you have to fasten your seatbelt for the game to work. But it's not like, it's fine. It's not going to throw you out or anything. It's not a bucking bronco. But it was so fun. We played the monster truck game like all night. And then, let's see, Sunday I went for my run, did my usual Sunday chores, and I played in my planners and got them ready for filming. I will admit I was back planning some stuff. Full transparency. And Dusty, I told him, I was like, oh, I'm going to go play in my planners and get them ready for filming. And he was like, oh, so they're in hair and makeup. And I was like, yes, my planners are in hair and makeup before they go to filming. And I thought that was really cute. Tuesday, we're on this current week now. Tuesday, we went to the pub with our friends Asia and Byron. On Tuesdays, our neighborhood pub does trivia night. And this was the actual birthday of the pub. Even though the party was on last Saturday, Tuesday was their actual birthday. I'm going to write that in. So we did trivia night. Our team name is Sweet Potato Pie. And they did a special, like, staff trivia. And it was all, like, you know, who was the first regular? Name one item on the menu that's no longer on the menu. Those kinds of questions. And I made it into the trivia I made it in as one of the trivia questions, and the question was, what does Sarra drink? Answer, Rainier beer. So I thought that was really fun that I made it into the staff trivia round. And then Tuesday was also the start of the rough draft challenge, and because we were going to trivia, I did not have time to both do my writing for the rough draft challenge and do my run. And so I'm very proud of myself that I went for a run and I prioritized the harder thing. It would have been easier for me to sit down and do my writing, but I'm very proud that I prioritized my physical health and fitness and chose the harder thing. So I'm okay with having a 0 day for the first day of the rough draft challenge. The rest of this week, like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a big weather nerd, and there has been a lot of severe weather. Again, I hope everyone is safe, but Ryan has been live every day. This is his 4th day in a row being live for severe weather, and I have been watching it like people watch sports. I love, not that I want anyone to get hurt, obviously, let me make that clear, but I love severe weather. So I have just been living my best life watching the live coverage of severe weather outbreaks. Yeah, tomorrow I have my mastermind meeting. Today I am working at the brewery, 4:30 to close. And yeah, that's kind of the evolution of my weekly pages. I at first was like very concerned about how it would be formatted, and I was going down the rabbit hole of watching YouTube videos on formatting, and now I'm just like, nope, I just do what works each week and I do what I need. So I did the week after, next week I did do some washi tape because I do think I like the washi tape trick, so I thought I would give that another go. But moving to my notes section, I have my seasonal task list, which I think is mostly up to date. There might be a couple things that I need to go and back plan, but for the most part it's up to date. You can pause if you want and read my seasonal tasks. This spread is my vet appointment tracker. So I like to keep track of the date of the appointment, the name of the pet, because we have 3 dogs and 4 cats. So it's important to keep everyone straight. The reason for the visit, the total cost of the visit, any prescriptions, or any notes or instructions. And it's a really easy at-a-glance way to be like, oh yeah, when did Nova go in and have her anal glands expressed last? Or when did so-and-so have their last vaccine? So here I have my menstrual tracker. Again, you can pause if you want to look at my key for symptoms and flow, any notes, that sort of thing. Here's my menstrual tracker for the second half of the year. And then this is my running log. So I have kind of abandoned my Couch to 5K program because I've made it almost to the most amount of running before a 5K. I did do this one. I just need to put a sticker there. But I was still topping out at like 2.7 miles. And a 5K is like 3.11 miles. So I am instead now running for a certain amount of running for a certain distance, and then running back, and just kind of gradually increasing that. So now I am up to 2.5 miles. So almost where I was previously. distance wise. And I think I like this better. And then this page that I tipped in is just kind of some notes. And I might change my running log because this doesn't give me a ton of space. I'm thinking that I can just do a new running log where I can have my notes and my actual like distance and splits breakdown in the same spot. So I'm thinking about switching this up and abandoning this format. And then I have a wish list here and some gift ideas. Books read in 2025. That's embarrassingly blank, but I'm a bit of a binge reader, so I don't mind that I'm kind of in a reading slump right now. And then just some notes from a meeting I had. And that's it for my everyday carry. So next I have my 2 writing planners. This is the Sterling Ink booklet system. I have a monthly booklet and a weekly booklet. And when I mentioned I had to do some back planning, it was in these. I am not touching them as often as I would like to be, but I am still very thankful that I have them and that I am using them. So, and I will like to look back on these for data's sake. So here, we'll just start at the beginning. So I don't really have anything here. I just have a quote. This page is blank. And then I just have my monthly goals for writing each month. This month my goals are to write 25,000 words and draft 8 scenes. And then this is an at a glance view of what I am doing. So I can very clearly see what I'm spending my time on. And I have my key here for the different parts of the writing process. I have been keeping track of what I've done. It's similar to this spread, but this actually says like I'm replotting, I'm doing a read through, I'm drafting, I'm making scene cards. So this is a more zoomed in view of this. And on the left side here, again, I have my goals each month. And I wrote 9:05 yesterday. So yeah, this is my monthly Sterling Ink writing planner, booklet planner. And I've just kind of marked in on the calendar view what I've been doing, my goals here. And then here I wrote and here I drafted both days. And then this is just a little reminder of how many words I need to write every day in my rough draft challenge. So that is pretty much it for my writing planner. I have some journaling, a tarot reading, and that's about it. And this is my weekly writing booklet. So nothing here, nothing here. And because this booklet is only January through June, they still gave us the July through December like yearly tracker page. I'm not really sure why, but they did. So I just covered it with some washi because I won't be using that page. And then these weekly pages, I've just included a little calendar washi here with the month, and then made some notes about what I am working on each week for my writing. So nothing too wild or crazy in here, but it is nice to have a separate spot for my writing. This is the 3rd year that I've kept a writing planner, and it's really nice to look back on my previous years. So yeah. Let's see, I wrote 9:05 yesterday. I wrote 905 words in 25 minutes. I was very impressed with myself. So yeah. And last, I would say, but not least, but this is my least important planner, I would say, at least at this point in my life. So the front page, I don't have anything. Don't have anything here yet. I started working on my content pillars, but haven't finished that. Sarra over at Heart Breathings has a video on creating content pillars. So I have nothing in the yearly tracker. And then on this page, I just have my quarterly and monthly goals for my YouTube channel. And then here I just say if I posted a video, and this is nice because I have a quick at-a-glance view of how often I'm posting, and then I have some quick stats down at the bottom here. So again, for Q2, I'm just doing the same thing. So, and then here on the monthly pages, I have rewritten my goals, and then a more granular look at the videos. So filming my Double Down Day vlog, finishing the vlog, and uploading it. And this just gives me a better sense of my workflow breakdown for each video. So yeah, let's we're at least recording this video. Q1. And that is it. I have in the back my 2024 stats, and then I will be eager to fill this out at the end of the year and see my 2025 stats and how my channel has grown. Steps to making a video. This will be an income tracker if and when I get to that point. And then some fun little uplifting quotes or comments that people have left me. So yeah, people, you are being very sweet, and I like to write down some of the comments and kind words that y'all write for me. So this is my kind of everyday system. Mostly this planner is my ride or die. If I was forced to only use one planner, if I had to go down to one, it would be this one. So that is my T.N system. I am loving it. She is beautiful. She is chonky. She's perfect. And then, last but not least, I have my Erin Condren Bold Blooms Life Planner here. And this I use as my HB90 planner. HB90 is a productivity course from Sarra over at Heart Breathings, and it's basically a quarterly planning system. You look at your life in 90-day chunks, assess your available time, and make your goals and plans according to that. There's more to it, but that's the basic kind of overview. So here I just have my Q1 writing, YouTube, and fitness goals, and then same thing for Q2. And then getting onto the monthly calendar page, I had my monthly goals written in for January, but it just felt kind of redundant writing them again. But on the weekly pages, this is kind of the nitty-gritty. So this is where I'm writing my to-do lists and my tasks, and then I am assessing how much time I am spending on each of those things. So here, the top column or yellow is for my writing, this teal color is for my YouTube, and this coral color is my fitness. So I have here, like, I read through 4 chapters in my draft. It took me 1 task block to do that. Here, I planned my January YouTube schedule. That took me 1 task block. And then my fitness. So at the end of the week, I keep track of my time, and a task block is 30 minutes. So at the end of the week, I add up how many task blocks I have spent that week on each section or goal area of my life. Here I had the whole boxes colored in, but I found it to be kind of messy looking, so now I just outline them, and I find that much easier on the eyes. At the end of each month, I do a little reflection, task block scheduled, used, what went well, what didn't go so well, and next month I will. So a little reflection page at the end. And then here, I put the monthly goals instead of on the calendar page, I put them here. And again, just going through my weeks in each of those 3 areas. You'll notice I don't put my work schedule, I don't put appointments or get-togethers. This is solely for my goal planning and my main areas in life. So this is strictly focused on the things that I am trying to improve in my life. So again, my reflection. The thing that I like at the end of the month about the task blocks used is I can clearly see where I am putting my time. So like January, I put 31 task blocks into YouTube, 19 into fitness, and only 12 into writing. And then I can compare that with February. February, I did 8 task blocks for writing, 35 for YouTube, 23 for fitness. And then here in March, my writing task blocks were the highest they had ever been, but my YouTube task blocks were the lowest they had ever been. And my fitness has stayed relatively the same, which is good. I'm very happy that I am staying pretty consistent with my fitness goals. So from April, again, I have my goals here, and this is not fully up to date, but alright, anyway, that is all she wrote. I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything back here in the notes section. Phew, thank y'all for sticking with me. That was a lot, but y'all are troopers. I appreciate it. And that is my Q1 so far. There we go. So I would love to hear from you. Are you sticking with the systems that you set out with at the beginning of the year? Have you added? Have you taken away? What's working? What's not working for you? And yeah, I would just love to know what you're using. I love notebooks and planners, and I love it. I love it. And I would love to hear what you are doing and how you're doing with your planner and notebook systems. But I am going to go enjoy some sun this afternoon. And until I see you again, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.